Well, good morning, Ryan. It's good to see you, man. We got Psalm 8 today, and it was super refreshing for me because I don't know if you can relate or if you all can relate listening, but uh, man, the last few Psalms have just been kind of like dark and heavy. And this one just really comes in like a burst of light and fresh air. And actually, Ryan, you showed me a quote earlier this morning. You got to share that with us because it just nails it in a super like dramatic way.
All right. It says this. It says, having wended, that's a new word for me. Having wended our way through 5 consecutive Psalms, that's 3 through 7, through the dark valleys of lament and pleas for deliverance, we hear the strains of a joyful melody rising from just beyond the steep hill, represented by Psalm 7. That was verse 17 yesterday. I'll sing the praise of the name of the Lord Most High, right? And then this quote goes on to say, and then we arrive at the crest to discover a welcome prospect of breathtaking beauty and awesome delight. Psalm 8 introduces to us this first experience of joyful praise and adoration. And so we thought, we were like, what better person to invite in to share this joyful praise and adoration with us than our very own Rachel Hakeem. I know, it's like
Rachel.
so we're bringing it. We're telephoning her now, / adding her. Oh,
Here it is. It worked. What's up, Rach?
Hey guys, how you doing?
We're
Good.
doing great. How are you?
I'm doing so good. It's almost the weekend. A lot of students don't know this, but like I'm a student too, so I feel their pain. I really do. So we're almost to the weekend. I'm excited.
And you brought your plants with you. They're so joyful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is like my pride possession plant. This angle's kind of weird. This leaf just unwrapped. So like when tropical leaves grow, they unwrap. And like the size of my hand, I don't know if you can see that.
That's huge.
It's ginormous. It's so big. I love it. It's my favorite.
Well, hey, we invited you in because we just shared with our viewers how the last 5 Psalms, 3 through 7, are really these Psalms of like lament and crying out to God. And then we get to Psalm 8, and it's just this joyful praise and adoration. And we thought, why don't we invite our friend Rachel, who is just filled with joy, to share with us? So what's maybe one thing, you read Psalm 8 this morning and read the passage in John. What's a few things that sort of caught your attention or really spoke to you that would be encouraging to students?
Yeah, man, so good. I have a question for you guys.
Oh, okay.
When you're reading the Bible, what translation do you read out of?
Ryan, where you at?
Well, you know what? I've for a long time been in ESV, and I've kind of stayed there. I teach in NIV on Wednesdays typically because that's 26 West, but ESV, and every once in a while I like to throw in the Message.
Nice. Yeah, I was in the New King James for a long time, and then coming to 26 West, I hopped on the NIV train. So that's what I'm holding here. So, what about you, Rachel?
New King James. That's so bold. Oh my gosh. So when I read the Bible, my hard copy is ESV. And I feel like when I was younger and I was a student too, I was like, I don't really care. Like, just give me a Bible. They're all the same, but they're totally different. And so when I study, I like looking at different translations just to see like the different words they use and to be able to get a better sense of the big picture. But let me read to you from the Message, because I don't know if it was like my 6 a.m. I'm still tired, so this is really funny, or if it's actually really funny. But here's Psalm 8, verse 1. God, brilliant Lord, yours is the household name. Verse 2. Nursing infants gurgle choruses about you. Like, what kind of picture does that paint? Just gurgling, oh, Jesus. So good. I don't know. I thought it was really, yeah, I thought that was so funny. But yeah, so yesterday was Earth Day, right? And so if you hop on anywhere, you're going to see pictures all around the world, which, kind of side note, I love traveling and I miss it. But what's the coolest view you guys have ever seen? Like,
That's a hard question. Man, I don't know. I think just the first thing that popped into my head, I don't know if it's the right one, but the one that popped into my head is when I was probably like 13 or 14, there was a meteor shower, and I got to go up with some friends like into the like hills, like in the mountains where there was no pollution, and it was just breathtaking to watch all the shooting stars and stuff.
dang. What about
Man,
you?
there's the one like when you said that immediately popped in my head is Laura and I did a trip to Kauai, which I think is probably the most beautiful Hawaiian island. It's the most like rugged. It's not like a touristy island. And on the west side of the island, you can do this hike to a canyon. And this canyon comes to this point where it kind of opens up and goes down right to the ocean. And it is like when you're standing there, it doesn't even look real. It just looks like this unbelievable painting.
Yeah, man, there's like so many cool views. I can't pick one. I think one of my favorites though is Honduras. Like, Latin America just feels like home. And I spent a few weeks in Honduras in high school, and we would always take a truck ride. So we'd sit in the back of a pickup and drive into the mountains, and it was always foggy and like green and just misty, and you could see all like the coffee plantations, and it's so breathtaking. And so in Psalm 8, David's marveling over God's creation and saying, look at what you made. And I can't think of a better time to like even read this after Earth Day. Like, my God is so great. He made all of this. And Jake, you were saying the meteor shower was so cool with like no light pollution. Just imagine what it would be like in David's time to look up to the sky in the middle of the night and see how beautiful the stars are. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to keep reading. And we make our way down to verse 4. And it says, let's see, I'm going to pull up the Message just because it's a little more clear. But it says, why do you bother with us, O God? Like, David's talking to God. Why do you bother with us? Why take a second and look our way? Like, we are so small compared to the heavens that you've made, that's infinite. And yet you've made us seated higher than angels. Like, we're saints in your kingdom. Like, that's so cool. And even small things, like small things can be great too. Bigger things doesn't always mean better. But that's just so cool. Like, why does God care about us? And we were reading today, I think in tandem with Psalm 8, we were reading John 13.
Yeah.
Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Okay. So in tandem, we were reading chapter 13, verse 18 through
30.
30. That's right. And so this story is pretty much like the Last Supper, and Jesus is sitting with his crew and saying like goodbye pretty much. But before that, he's like, one of you guys is going to betray me. And then all of the 12, they're like, oh my gosh, who's the snitch, right? And so it becomes like super like intense, like, oh, who's gonna snitch? I'm not the snitch, you're the snitch. No, I'm not the snitch, who's the snitch, right? And then God's like, okay, I'm gonna tell you. And then they're all like, okay, who is it? And before he does that, he says, like, in some translations it says Jesus is visibly upset. In others it says he's deeply troubled.
Mm-hmm.
And to take a break in that climax and to be like, he's hurting. And not only because he's a man, but because he cares about us deeply. Just that, like knowing that and showing that kind of emotion that Jesus really does care. And you know what? Even when you're going to go and betray him, be a Judas, be a snitch, he still loves you and he cares deeply. And so to read how God, like in the heavens, the creator of literally everything, cares about you and has made you like a saint, that's just so crazy to me. I don't
Wow.
know. I think it's just so crazy to me. And I've been so busy this week, I haven't been watching the young adult videos that Nate has been doing such a good job with. I did see the title of it, and it was like being good enough or not feeling good enough. And this kind of just came to mind because I don't know about you guys, but I definitely struggle with it, because if I'm sitting in a room full of people, then I'm always going to be like, you know what, other people have good things to say, so I'm just not going to talk because their stuff is probably better than me. Or in general, there are other people that can do it, so why even do it? Because they can probably do a better job or just as good. And God made each one of us unique. Like he literally made the universe, and now he made us and cares. If he cares this deeply about us, then like we have to have some value, right? And so, man, that just spoke to me. And you know, last night you texted me and you said, hey, we've got this chapter for you to, you know, we want you to come on. And I got so excited. And he's like, yeah, it's a really good, easy chapter. Like, you're going to have so much fun with it. And I like opened it up this morning and I started reading it. And I was like, what is this? There's no me. Like, I want me. I want to like be able to like go into it. And then I was like, man, what am I going to, like, what even stuck out to me? So I reread it and reread it and reread it, and then it just dawned on me, and I just sat there. And
You meditated on the scriptures.
yeah,
God spoke.
Yeah, it was so awesome. So that's my long version of the one thing that stuck out to me is
it's so cool.
God cares.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's super cool. I think it's super encouraging for me, definitely. So thanks for hopping on and sharing with us. Hey, we're going to take a couple days off from the video, but not from reading. So tomorrow's Psalm 9, Saturday, Psalm 10, and then we'll jump back on Psalm 11 on Sunday.
Beautiful. Thanks, Rach.
Yeah,
Yeah,
thanks
thank you.
It was so much fun.
Awesome. Love you guys. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Sunday.
Bye, guys.